welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here on the west coast of Canada. Welcome Kyber, welcome Janelle, hello members. Hi Carolina, welcome our chat moderator, Palak, Simran. Nice to see many of our regular students in the class. Students, right now we are going to be looking at IELTS speaking, and we're going to be learning strategies and building that Band 9 confidence, and we will be doing that by actually practicing some speaking live in this class. So I will call some students and we're going to do some speaking interview questions so that you can build your confidence and shed those nerves. All right, everyone, this class is brought to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS success. Visit us there. For general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. On those websites right now, we sent out a newsletter. You can use the discount code Pass IELTS for a 20% discount. So again, the way you do that is you go to the website. This is gieltshelp.com with the green background. You click this big red button that's right there, and then you use the coupon code. You click on this green button, use coupon code, and then you just type in Pass IELTS, and you hit continue, and then bada bing, bada boom, you get 20% off, and you're off to the races. For general IELTS, it's the same idea. It is the blue background. This website will look like this, and then you can click these big red buttons here above my head. We're going to use this website today for the speaking because we have a really cool chat interface, kind of like WhatsApp or Skype, where you can video and audio chat. So we're going to use that today. So students, if you're already here, create an account. You can create a free account by clicking this green button as well, and we're going to use this in just a few moments to practice some speaking with students. Okay, all right. Shakrat, yeah, I see what you're writing. So Shakrat's just asking a quick question. Shakrat says, I had my listening, reading, writing exam today. I have a doubt. Can I use the word email in writing task 1? I'm attaching the document in this email. Sure you can, absolutely. Okay. If it's a letter, it could be an email. It could be a letter through the email, all right? So that works as well. Okay, Ravinder Nalini, welcome. Krishav, all right, awesome. So students, just getting back to the point here, you can get our apps, Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help, from your app stores. You can't use the discount code on the apps, everyone. You can only use the discount code on the websites, but you can link the app after. And these apps join or link with the websites. So download Academic IELTS Help, General IELTS Help. Definitely join us on Instagram to follow the live schedules, get daily vocabulary and much more. IELTS_AE Help and GIELTS Help. And in order to send a question to me, just email me at adrian@aehelp.com. So this is the last class for this week. We will have a couple days of break, so no class tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, and then I'm back on the 12th, January 12th, with speaking part 1 again. That's usually how we kick off the week, just to get everybody warmed up and speaking. All right, everyone, so IELTS speaking part 1, we're gonna start this. By the way, everybody, we just released a new video. I'll show you that in a little bit. This new video, it's really cool. It's like a karaoke for IELTS speaking. So like, or as the Japanese say, karaoke. So it's like a karaoke for IELTS speaking, where you can actually practice questions and answers with me through the video. I'll show you that in a minute, but let's get into some speaking first, okay? So IELTS exam, 12-minute interview. You should speak English the whole day of your exam. You should show up early. You should practice some speaking questions with other candidates at your test center. They will be happy when you ask them to practice with you. Okay, I did this when I went to an IELTS exam incognito, and I asked a student and they were super happy. So the IELTS interview, when you go in and you sit down, there will be an examiner that's kind of like me. Okay, and the IELTS examiner will say, welcome to the speaking portion of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. The exam is being held at the Birmingham office. The time right now is 14 o'clock. Now we shall begin. And the first question is, may I see your identification? Okay, you have to show them the identification that you used to register. So make sure you do that. Okay, so may I see your identification? Give me a nice full sentence for this, students. Just write it in the chat for now, and then you'll get to practice this when I give some calls, okay? All right. So here we go. Muhammad Dayub says, yes, sure, I use it for my registration. Muhammad, you have some missing parts of that full sentence. So yes, sure, here it is. I used this for my registration, not registrations, but just one. Kyber says, yes, here's my passport that I used for registration online. Please have a look. Islam World, yes please is not clear English. Guys, again, yes please is bad English. Okay, so bad English, I don't know if or where you learned this from, but yes please, bad English. You would never say that. A native English speaker would never say that. It's like, yes please what? Yes please, can I have a cup of coffee? Yes, please, can I have some water? It doesn't make sense to an English speaker. It feels like there's a question coming that's not there. So this is bad English, okay? Don't use this, okay? So good English. Yes, of course. Here is my passport, which I used to register. Please take a look. Okay, so then comes the next question. What is your full name? Always comes next because they're matching your ID with your full name. Make sure you say the same name that's on your ID, okay? So what is your full name? Also include what you want to be called. Okay, because that's our next question. They're going to say, and what do you want me to call you? Okay, so just include that, all right? So what is your full name? And include what you want to be called. All right, so here is Muhammad Dayub, okay? Now, students, if you want to get a band 7, 8, 9, you have to be very good in these introductory questions. Yes, they are marking you. Yes, they are judging your English. This is what Muhammad Dayub is writing, okay? And it's not bad, but there's a mistake here, okay? And you can't get a band 9 if you make this kind of mistake, Muhammad. So you have to be careful. So Muhammad says, my first name is Muhammad and my second name is Ayub. Please just call me by my first name, Muhammad. Okay. What's the mistake with this, students? So what mistake is Muhammad making with this introduction where the IELTS examiner is going to be like, sorry, the best I can give you is a band 6.5, but that means you have to have a perfect speaking basically after this. So there's a kind of a critical mistake here, and I want to make sure that you don't make this mistake, so learn from each other. Okay, Kyber says no second name. Yeah, it's bad English. Okay, so in English we never say second name. Okay, so second name equals bad English. All right. Do you mean your middle name or your family name, your surname? Okay, so in English you have a first name or given name, Okay. You have middle name. Okay, many people will have a middle name. Or middle names. Some people, especially some people who are Spanish or in Arabic cultures, they have several middle names, and they're still called, I know it sounds weird, but they're still called middle names, or middle name. And then you have surname or family name, okay? That's passed down from the father or mother's side, depending on your culture. But we never say second name. That's, even though it sounds like it would make sense, it doesn't. To an English ear, that's kind of like, what? You have a second name? Is that like an alternative to your first name? So it doesn't make sense, okay? So you have to say, my first name is Muhammad and my family name is Ayub. Please just call me by my first name, Muhammad, okay? All right, so you really want to avoid making those kinds of mistakes, students, all right? So again, this is speaking, everyone, so make sure to speak and repeat, okay? So copy what I say, copy how I say it, copy my speed. If you have to, read a little bit, but speak and repeat, okay? So here we go, everyone. 3, 2, 1. May I see your identification, please? Yes, of course. Here's my passport, which I use to register. Please take a look. Thank you. What is your full name? My first name is Muhammad and my family name is Ayub. Please just call me by my first name, Muhammad. Okay, Muhammad. Now we will begin part 1. For this part, I will ask you a couple of questions to get to know you better, and some questions on a general topic. Where do you live? Okay, now you can answer that question, but I'm actually going to start calling people right away because this is the last class of this week, so I want everybody to have as much of a chance to practice as possible. So I'm going to put on my headset. I recommend you do the same. If you've got a headset, use it. We're going to use our website, everybody, for our volunteering, okay? All right, and here is, let me just do one more step here. So number 5, send me a message. I want to volunteer. Okay, so what you want to do is this, everyone. This is how you volunteer. Oh, it was already there. Okay, just erase that then. All right, so this is how you volunteer to chat with me, and then what I'll do is I will analyze your speech. I'll give you some feedback. I'll give you a score estimate. Okay, so here we go. Okay, I'm just throwing this into the chat, and hopefully you can get it all the way to step number 4 there. So there are the first 4 steps, and then here's the last 2 steps coming. Okay, and I'll walk you through this. So I'm going to show you how to do this as well. Okay, and these are steps 5 and 6. So if you look at the chat, you're going to see the 6 steps, and you actually have a link to the website as well. Okay, so cool, everyone. All right, here we go. This is how we do it. So we go to the website, aehelp.com. Okay. And then you can register a paid account, which is a really good idea in my opinion, by clicking the red button and joining the premium package, or you can register a free account by clicking the green button, try the demo. And then you'll have a My Student account, which is up at the top here. Okay, very, very top. My Student account, just under the flags. You click on that My Student account, and then you're in this section here, all right? And then here you have this these 2 buttons, okay? The speaking interview practice, and then above that you have the student partner speaking. We're using the student partner speaking, okay? If you like that, you can book a full interview session with me later on, and you use this yellow button. But right now we're using this blue button, the student partner speaking. Then you click the I accept. It means you're going to be polite, you're responsible for your words. Students never share personal information like phone numbers and addresses, okay? Keep that private. So you click on that, and then right away you're going to see that you have this chat interface, okay, and all these individuals, like you have Arda and Sumeria and Pritam and Simranpreet, Tatiana in here. And then after you're in here, just click this blue button and send me a message. Say, I want to volunteer. And I'll kind of just choose different people throughout the class to practice with. Okay. So once I see that you're volunteering. Now, make sure you enable your microphone and your speaker. Okay. So there'll be a little pop-up on the browser that you should be familiar with. That little pop-up that says, this website would like to use your microphone and headphones or speakers. Are you okay with that? And you have to, because otherwise we can't speak. Okay. All right. So Arda here is messaging me, which is kind of cool. I just saw Arda pop up a message. So let's try it. Okay, Arda, let's do some volunteering. And then Arda just messaged, I want to volunteer. Are you ready? Arda, you can start with Arda today. Arda is a regular student of ours, and that's awesome. So let's see if Arda is ready. We'll connect, and then I'll hop back to the questions, ask you a question. Okay. Here we go. Just wet the whistle first. Okay. So let me call Arda first.
Hello.
Hi, Arda.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. How are you?
I'm great.
Awesome. Thank you for being the first volunteer today, Arda.
It's fine.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to ask you just some of the warm-up questions, the icebreakers, Arda, and give me some nice full sentence answers. How does that sound?
Yep, sure.
Okay. All right. So welcome to the speaking portion of the Ielts exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner. May I see your identification?
Gladly, here is my passport that I used to register for this exam. Please have a look.
Thank you. And what is your full name?
My given name is Arda, and my surname is Gurpus. Please just call me Arda.
Okay, Arda, for part one, I will ask you a couple of questions to get to know you better and some questions on a general topic. Where do you live?
I reside in a 3-bedroom high-rise building in Istanbul, Turkey. It's slap bang in the middle of the city. It has a huge balcony by my family, and I like to spend our time chatting and drinking tea.
Okay. All right, that was fantastic, Arda. Very nice introduction. Good job showing everybody how it's done. So until that point, that would definitely be a band 9. Okay, so you've got extremely good fluency. And it's really nice for the examiner to recognize that here's a candidate who prepared for the exam. Even when somebody has good English, it's still a really good idea to prepare for the exam and show the examiner that, hey, I'm taking this exam seriously. I've prepared. I focused on what I can expect. And I can tell that obviously, you've practiced this introduction several times in several different ways, and you're doing a really good job. So let's just look at that last question, the where do you live? So I asked you, where do you live? You immediately paraphrased live with I reside, which is very good. You're earning your lexical resource marks right away. So you said, I reside in a 3-bedroom high-rise building in Istanbul, Turkey. So beautiful, very concise. So you're telling me your home, and then right away a little bit bigger, the city, and then right away bigger yet, the country. And that was really good. You put that all into that first sentence. It was brilliant. And then you threw in some really nice natural kind of slang. It's slap bang in the middle of the city. Maybe you saw that idiom that we taught before, like it's in the heart of Istanbul. It's another way to say it. Slap bang in the middle of the city is great. I personally love that expression, slap bang. It's just there's a special word for that, but it actually creates the sound like slap bang, right? So you really get that emphasis. It's very good. And then you said a little bit more about I think you said something about your favorite room, like the living room where you hang out with your family.
I talked about my balcony.
Your balcony, right? I was kind of paying attention to typing at the same time. That was okay because you had really good fluency, so it was okay. However, do be careful not to overspeak. Some examiners are really hesitant, especially if they're new, they haven't been an examiner for a long time. They get really hesitant and fearful that the student is going to keep talking and they have to interrupt them. So just, if you feel like you've answered the question well, you don't have to stretch it too much, okay? So just be careful about that, all right?
All right, got it, yeah.
Okay, Arda, brilliant. Excellent. Band score wise, yeah, that was a 9 for sure. If you keep going that way, you're going to get a 9.
Thank you.
Okay. Arda, thanks for being the first volunteer and for showing everybody how it's done. Everyone, please give Arda an applause for that. It definitely deserves it. And keep up the good studies, Arda.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Okay, so that was Arda. What a way to, that's how you want to start your interview, everyone, if you want to get a great band score for sure. All right, let's take another volunteer. So we'll kind of move down the questions here and get more questions. Okay, so Tatiana is one of our members. I'll reach out to Tatiana. She's volunteered a couple of times. So I always like to see how some of our members and viewers are improving. So Tatiana says, I'm always ready to volunteer. Okay, are you ready, Tatiana? Let's see. Yes, okay, good.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, Tatiana. For me, it's still just 7:22 in the morning, but good afternoon to you.
7:22 p.m.
You're at 7:22 p.m., so you're in the evening. So
Right.
we're an entire half day apart. Okay, so Tatiana, I'm going to ask you a question. Give me a nice full sentence answer, and then I'll reflect, okay?
Yes, with pleasure.
Okay, so here we go. Very typical question coming at you, Tatiana. Do you have any hobbies?
Yes, I do. I do have hobbies. I love learning languages. I learn Spanish and French and German, and I love doing it because it gives me better understanding of the world and as well better understanding of English. Just the other day, I spent half an hour revising Spanish vocabulary on Duolingo app.
Okay. On Duolingo. Okay. All right. Very nice, Tatiana. Yeah, so good. Very nice. One point I want to emphasize right away, because I know you've volunteered in the past few classes as well, is your answer explanation example strategy in this question was the best so far. So I can tell that you're really starting to click with this structure, and that's really good, okay?
Thank you.
So I said, do you have any hobbies? And you said, yes, I do have hobbies. I love learning language, and I learn Spanish and French and German. I love doing it because it gives me a better understanding of the world and English. Just yesterday, I spent half an hour revising Spanish vocabulary in Duolingo. Okay, so I think some examiners would give you a band 8. Some examiners would give you a band 8.5. I think your English is fantastic, by the way. So students, anybody who reaches a band level 8 is actually above what even some native speakers would get if they just sat in the IELTS exam without any preparation. So once you reach that level, you should be really proud of yourself. It's like a level C1 according to the European standard or Cambridge. Okay, so do you have any hobbies? This is what I would correct. Okay, so there's a couple of, we can always improve communication. We can always be better, even better than a band 9 when we get on into the real world of communication.
Yeah, the sky's the limit.
Yeah, so I'll let you know what I would do differently. So you said, yes, I do have hobbies. Instead of hobbies, I would try to paraphrase right away. I do have
Favorite pastimes.
exactly some favorite pastime activities. Okay, so right away, just showing that I can paraphrase. Anytime we paraphrase, we also show a higher level of comprehension. Okay.
Paraphrasing is key.
It is, and if I'm not mistaken, it sounds like you're also quite familiar with psychology. Am I correct in that?
Another of my hobby.
Right. And in psychology, that was actually my major. I have a degree in psychology. And
Yes, I do remember that.
yeah, so and in psychology, paraphrasing clients is the fundamentals of basically all types of psychology. So yes, I do have some favorite pastime activities. I love learning languages. I would make that plural. I learn Spanish and French and German. I love doing it because it gives me a better understanding of the world in English. And because it's asking hobbies and you replied with plural activities, learning languages I guess would satisfy hobbies, but I personally would maybe add just one other hobby in there to make it very clear that it's accurate.
Watching series.
Yeah, and watching sitcoms. Okay, and then you said just yesterday I spent half an hour revising Spanish vocabulary. Revising is, I mean, some English teachers might argue this with me, but I don't think it's the best word in this case. I say reviewing. Would be a little bit. Revising means that you're changing it, and it's understandable but a bit awkward in my opinion. So I spent half an hour reviewing Spanish vocabulary on Duolingo. Revising means that you're changing it. Like if I revise my essay or revise my writing, it means I'm changing it because I want to say it differently or write it differently, okay? So this would be more accurate. Okay, let me read it and then repeat after me, okay? So do you have any hobbies? Yes, I do have some favorite pastime activities. I love learning languages. I learn Spanish and French and German. I love this because it gives me a better understanding of the world in English. And also I like watching sitcoms. Yesterday I spent half an hour reviewing Spanish vocabulary on Duolingo before watching an episode of Seinfeld. Okay, do you have any hobbies?
Yes, I do have some favorite pastime activities. I love learning languages. I learn Spanish, French, and German. I love doing it because it gives me a better understanding of the world and of English. And I love watching sitcoms. Just yesterday, I spent half an hour reviewing Spanish vocabulary on Duolingo before watching my favorite sitcom, and just like that.
Perfect. That would be a band 9. Okay, so you see, like, your first was great, was good. This was expert, right? And you can I'm sure you can feel that difference, right? That one band difference in the two, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Tatiana.
Remember about paraphrasing, but I keep forgetting it in practice.
Yeah, and it's practice makes perfect. So when you put it into practice, it will start to come easier, just like how the structure now came a little bit more naturally as you were responding. So keep it up, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Tatiana. Have an awesome day.
You too. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Okay, so that was Tatiana. All right, let me pick somebody else here. All right. So here's another one of our members, Nuthan. I don't think I've spoken to Nuthan yet, so I'm going to try to reach out to Nuthan. Okay. All right, and students, when I'm doing this with other volunteers, make sure to repeat and take notes because mistakes are shared. We often make very similar mistakes and have very similar challenges with our communication. Okay. All right.
Hi, sir.
Hi, Nuthan. How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. Is this our first time connecting with our voice?
No, it's not the first time. This is the second time we are talking. So
It's the second
I would say
time.
I would say last week we had a chat.
Okay, great, good. It's good on you to come back and practice again. Okay, so Nuthan, we're gonna get into our part 1 questions now. Are you ready?
Yeah, I do. I'm ready always.
Okay, all right. So let's talk about habits.
Yeah.
What are some negative habits?
Well, I do have the habits which do not want to continue further. It is my sleeping routine, I would say, where I would sleep very late in night, around 1 a.m. and get up late in the morning at 10. So to conclude, I would say this is my one of some of your negative habits which I don't want to continue further.
Okay. Okay, not bad. Not bad at all. So I would give you a band 7 for that. I think you have very good fluency. I think your fluency is a band 9. I think your pronunciation is a band 9. I could understand every word that you were saying, which was
Thank you.
really good. The reason you're losing marks is because you are being redundant. So you're kind of repeating the same idea over and over again instead of giving me new
Okay.
information, which means that your vocabulary score would be like a band 7, and your coherence score would be a band 7. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So what I recommend that you do, Nuthan, is to be more concise. Okay. Do you know this
Okay.
word concise?
Yeah, yeah. So we make it very not prolonging for more and make it very little
Yeah,
words.
like exactly. Like you want to make it short, basically.
Yeah,
So
very
say,
short. Yeah.
but that doesn't mean just speak short. Okay, don't speak short. So, but don't express a simple idea in a very long way. So, what are
Okay.
some negative habits? You said, well, I do have the habit, which I do not want to continue further. Sleeping habit, sleeping routine. If I want to
No,
say, and then
I think you made missed that. I think I didn't speak it clearly. I did say it's my sleeping aid where I would sleep very late in the night around 1 a.m.
yeah, and I got that. You said that a little bit after. You said it's where I would sleep, yeah, around 1 a.m. and then get up at 10.
Yes.
Yeah, and so I got that. That's where you got into some quantitative description, and that was
Okay,
better.
okay.
Okay, so I did get that. So let's explain this. So, Nutan, when you're thinking this way, the logic in your head, okay, so this is your habit that you want to change.
Yes.
And why is it a bad habit?
So it's because normally if you sleep very late and the next day you would not have a what I say is like you'll not feel much energetic to work. So because you'll not have proper sleep, like proper sleep is like sleep
Okay,
early and
again, Nutan, focus on being concise. So, a person
okay.
will have low energy the next day. Okay,
Yeah, low
so
energy.
I really want you to just focus on when you feel like you've said 2 or 3 sentences, think about how can I say
Okay.
this in just one simple sentence. Okay,
Okay,
but
sure.
before that, let's go back to the question. The question is, what are some negative habits, right?
Yeah.
Answer the question directly. So, some destructive habits include smoking, overeating, and going to bed late, because these have a negative impact on health.
Okay.
Okay, I tend to sleep late at 1 a.m., so I often feel low on energy the next day.
Yeah.
Okay, so this would much more accurately answer this question. Okay, so let me read. Do you see that? So it's much more concise. I basically said all of what you said, plus I gave more negative habits and an explanation within the same amount of words. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
so the goal, Newton, is say more with less words. Okay.
Okay. Sure.
Okay, so here we go. Let's talk about habits. What are some negative habits? Some destructive habits include smoking, overeating, and going to bed late because these have a negative impact on health. I tend to sleep late around 1 a.m., so I often feel low on energy the next day. What are some negative habits?
Some destructive habits include smoking, overeating, and going to bed late because these have a negative impact on health. I tend to sleep late at 1 a.m., so I often feel low on energy the next day.
Perfect. So, Nutan, you have the fluency, you have the pronunciation, and I think you have the vocabulary too. So you just have to
Okay.
put together the technique, and your band score is
Okay.
going to just jump. You're going to see it go from like a band 6.57 to an 8.5 within a very short time, as long as you do that. Okay.
Sure, I can. Yeah.
Okay.
And I have one question to ask. Can
Go
I?
ahead.
Yeah, sure. Last time when we were speaking, you said that the way I speak was not correct. So I was like speaking very fast. So you should change that one. So did I change this time,
Yes,
or
you
do I
did.
need to change? Yeah.
Yes, you did. You were definitely a bit slower, and that's good. You can even be a bit slower. You can even be another 5% slower, but yes, I felt that you were slower and you were more collected. You were definitely more collected this time, okay?
I'm clear, right? I'm clear enough
Yeah.
to understand. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. Okay, Nutan, keep it up.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank you
thank you
so
so
much,
much.
sir.
All right, everybody, give
Thank you so
Nutan
much.
an applause as well. So anytime you hear these volunteers, just give them a shout out, like say, good job, Nutan, good job, Tatiana, because they're really putting themselves out there, and it's, you know, it's intimidating. And like I said, in this class, we're building confidence, and a great way to do that is by volunteering in the class. Okay, let's just go with the next person, Nadine. So here we have Nadine. Nadine says, I want to volunteer. Let's see if Nadine is ready. Are you ready? Okay, so I'm just seeing if Nadine is ready. It doesn't mean the next person I pick will be right after Nadine. It could be someone just randomly picked, so hang in there and copy each other. Okay, all right. Tatiana says clap, clap, and I see some thumbs up. That's awesome. Okay. So Nadine says yes. Awesome. All right, we got John giving some thumbs up there too. That's great. Hi, Nadine.
Hi,
How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, thanks. I had great sleep last night, so that's always a good thing.
Perfect.
Okay, all right, Nadine. So I'm going to ask you a question. Give me a nice full sentence answer, just like your predecessors had done up until now, and then I'll analyze it and give you some feedback. Does that sound good?
Okay, perfect.
All right. Okay, so we're continuing with part one, of course. Let's talk about habits. Do you have any habits you want to change?
Yes, certainly I do have some bad habits such as nail biting, eating unhealthy foods, or sleeping quite late. And I actually want to give up these in a short time. Like yesterday, I was too stressed, so I ate junky food. Um, I hope I will give up this soon, as soon as possible.
Okay. I'm almost there. Okay. All right, so that was about a 6.5 if I just judge you based on that one answer. Okay. You had some good fluency. You've certainly put together some good vocabulary. Your grammar was quite accurate. And your pronunciation was fantastic. Pronunciation is one that a lot of people worry about, but that's the one I think people need to worry the least about. So most people, 9 out of 10 people, have nothing to worry about when it comes to pronunciation because it just doesn't really affect the score all that much. Okay, so do you have any habits you want to change? That was my question. And then you kind of started slow because you were thinking of your answer, and that's okay. All right, a slow start's not necessarily bad because we naturally do that. We kind of start our response slow to give our mind a couple of seconds to figure out what we want to add, right? So you said, yes, certainly I do have some bad habits, such as nail biting, eating unhealthy foods, and sleeping late. Okay. And then, so that's fine. And then you said, I actually want to give up these in a short time. That's a little bit awkward grammar. I can understand it, but it's the phrasal word give up these, right? So give these up. The pronoun will often separate the phrasal verb to make it sound more natural. So that's a tricky one, I know, but you'll get used to it as you become more familiar with English. So I actually want to give these up in a short time. Like yesterday, I was eating junky foods. We don't actually say junky foods. We say junk foods. Junky is an adjective, and it means like it's not of good quality, but we don't use it for junk foods. Junk foods itself is a collocation, and it always just stays the same. It's junk food, junk food, junk food. Okay, so it doesn't have any other form. All right. So I was eating junk food. Here, it'd be nice to get an idea of what that junk food was. Chips
Yeah,
and
maybe.
chocolate. All right. So what's your idea of a junk food, right? So chips and chocolate. And then you said, so I want to give up these as soon as possible. So this part here really was just a repetition of this part here. Give these up in a short time. And again, to reach those really high band scores, 8 and 9, you have to be very effective at avoiding any kind of repetition. Okay. I think some IELTS trainers are telling students to like re-summarize or restate what they've already said. It's not a good idea. Okay, it's time wasting and it's wordy. So once you've said it, go to a new idea. Okay, or define it better. So you said, so I want to give up these as soon as possible. Let's be more measurable. How quickly do you want to give these up?
Like in 3 weeks, in a month.
Yeah, so just pick one and stick with it. How quickly do you want to give it up?
In a month.
Okay, let's be even more tangible. Okay, so I want to stop these habits by the start of February. Okay? All right. Sounds good, right? So the more tangible we are, the better our communication. Let me read this, and then I'll ask you the question again, and you can repeat me. Sounds good?
Yeah, sure. Can you put the screen there, because I see call with Nadine's screen, so I can follow you.
Yeah, thanks for telling me that. I just realized that. I was so excited about it that absolutely.
Thank you.
Good for you. Yeah, that's good communication. When something doesn't make sense, communicate it, right? Okay, so here we go. So all right, so do you have any habits you want to change? Yes, certainly. I do have some bad habits, such as nail biting, eating unhealthy foods, and sleeping late. I actually want to give these up in a short time. Like yesterday, I was eating junk food, chips and chocolate, and I felt really bad after. So I want to stop these by the start of February. Do you have any habits you want to change?
Yes, certainly. I do have some bad habits, such as nail biting, eating unhealthy foods, sleeping late. I actually want to give these up in a short time. Like yesterday, I was eating junk food, chips, and chocolate. So I want to stop these habits by the start of February.
Okay, much better. So the way that you read that would actually be a band 9. Okay, so if you keep keep going that way, then you're doing just fine, right? And it takes a bit of practice, and that's why I tell students, especially when you're at that 6.57 level where you are right now, this is what you want to be doing. You want to record your answer, write it down, correct it, have it make more sense, and then re-say it. So basically train your mind to make these small but important adjustments for that higher band score, okay?
Yes, okay. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much for volunteering, and keep up the good studies.
Thank you. See you soon.
Okay. Bye-bye. All right. So that was Nadine. Very good. All right, Nadine. So here we go. Let's see. Here's Irut. Let's reach out to Irut. Okay, Irut, are you ready? Okay, I'm going to try to grab at least a few more volunteers, 3-4 more this class if we can. All right. Thank you for the thumbs up, students, and the claps. That's great. And again, students, this service, so it's free. It's free for everyone. And you can chat with other students as well. So I know it's maybe fun and exciting to chat with me, but definitely, chat with others. So this is for you to practice your IELTS, and you can practice and contact anybody through this interface, okay? So just like what I'm doing. So Irut, here we go.
Hello.
Hi, Irut.
Hello. Hey, Adrian. I can't actually believe that I'm really talking to you.
You are. I'm here in Canada, Victoria, and we're speaking. Absolutely. Thank you for volunteering.
Thank you for giving me this nice opportunity.
Absolutely. May I ask where you are right now in this big world of ours?
I'm from Russia, but I'm planning to immigrate to Canada in the not too distant future.
Okay, very good. Nice English. All right. Okay, all right. So I will try to help you on that mission by asking you a part one question and then giving you some feedback. Does that sound good?
Sounds great. Let's do it.
All right. Okay. So again, part one, keep in mind, and this is for everybody, you're always staying basically on the same topic that they introduce. So let's talk about habits. What are some positive routine behaviors?
Well, I think that planning would be the first step that you should imply on your to-do list, and because planning can change your life for the better, definitely. And other thing I would say that obtaining some kind of financial literacy would be great, because these days we live in the um, we live in the capitalism society, and where money plays a huge role in our life, and that's why being good with money certainly wouldn't hurt. Um, just like me, I always try to chip in and put aside some money just to have some savings for some bad days.
Okay. All right. Okay, so not bad. I think the examiner will give you a band 6.5, 6 to 6.5. So it's a 6.5, but maybe on the lower end if I had to be very kind of specific with it, and I'll explain why. I actually think that you can do much better. I think that you could get a 7.5. You do have to adjust the way that you're interpreting the question and your answer. Okay. Keep IELTS simple. So don't try to over impress the examiner by getting really truthful, really presenting complex ideas with complex vocabulary. So don't do that. This is not a master's or a doctorate dissertation. Okay, I'm not a panel of professors here judging your intuitive ability to come up with a new hypothesis and prove that hypothesis. Okay, so don't do that, because that's kind of what it felt like to me, and I feel because of that you got yourself into some problematic situations. Let me explain that in more detail. So I said, what are positive routine behaviors, right? The simple would be like exercise, eating healthy, and if we want to get a little bit fancier, we can say hygiene. Okay, like good hygiene. All right. And you said, well, I think that planning should be the first thing that you should, I think you said imply. What I think you meant there was implement.
Implement, yes, exactly.
Right? So imply is the wrong word in context. And the examiners are very good. They immediately catch words that are not correctly used in context. So I felt that, okay, he meant implement, but instead used imply, right? Which is incorrect. It's misleading. So I think planning should be the first thing that you always avoid this word. Okay, this is a very dangerous word, all right? Because now you're talking to me as the examiner, and you know what? I actually do a lot of planning, so I don't need to implement this in my life. Maybe some people do. So stay away from you. And then later on, you actually jumped to I, and then you also jumped to we, and you also jumped to, I think, people at some point. That becomes very confusing in communication when your pronouns shift perspective like that. So they shift from the first person to the second person to the objective third person. And by the end of it, the person's kind of like, who are we talking about now? Are we talking about me or you or people or everybody? So it becomes confusing. So you want to control that, okay? And in part one, it's mostly about you. So even when you start general, you say I, me, my, never say you. Really avoid the you and the we and the us, because that becomes quite confusing often, okay? And then you said, okay, the other one was people need to be good with money, just like me. And then you said, I save some money for some bad days. The correct expression for bad days, there's an expression for that in English when we need money and we might be low on money. Do you know what that expression is? It's not.
Well,
It's not
I'm
bad
rec-
days.
I'm wrecking my brain. I'm wrecking my brain to remember it, but I can't.
Starts with an R. It's something to do with the weather, one word, and then it's days. I wonder if somebody is going to put it in the chat real quick. Okay. So it's 2 words. Just the first word is missing. Starts with an R. Something to do with the weather. Rainy. For a rainy day. So
Rainy days.
yeah, so I'm saving some money for a rainy day. A rainy day means that you're in need of money. Okay. All right. Not raining, everyone. I see raining coming into the chat as well. It's just rainy. Okay. So nevertheless, I'm not going to retype this because I think that you can do better without me telling you. All I want you to do is I want you to simplify your answer. So forget about the first one. Don't use I, me, my, you, or sorry, you can use I. Don't use you and we, okay? Simplify your answer. Think of exercise, eating healthy, for example, all right? And then I'm going to ask you the question again, and I would like you to answer again, and this time just simpler, okay? Ready?
Yes, I think.
Okay, try it. You just got to do, right? Okay, here we go. So what are positive routine behaviors?
Well, sedentary lifestyle is prevalent these days, so I think that leading more active lifestyle would be a great idea because a lot of people these days suffering from obesity, and also I think that it's worth mentioning that considering the fact that these days we're all facing the whole COVID-19 situation, hygiene would be just the ticket because we all want to stay healthy and fight this virus as fast as possible.
Okay, good. All right. Again, I still think you're forcing it a bit. So you're really, you're pressuring some expressions into context that they make sense and you're doing okay with it. And it's good to practice that before your exam. But during your exam, just make it flow a little bit more natural. I think you did well. As soon as you feel like you're getting a little bit stuck, like what was happening at the end there, switch to an example. I wash my hands every day and I make sure to wear a mask when I go out. Okay, so switch to an example right away, and then you can finish and stop there. And that was good. So, but even though that time, because you weren't overdoing it and you didn't say we and us and you, it was better. So that response would have gotten you a 7.75 potentially even. Okay, so that was markedly a better response by at least a half band score, but I would say a band better. Okay? Okay, so that's what you want to do. So don't overcomplicate. You don't have to impress the examiner. Okay, with your English, you'll do fine. Just be you. Okay?
Okay, thank you. I'll try.
Okay, all right, keep it up. That was awesome. Thank you, Irat, and have an awesome rest of your day in Russia.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, so everybody give Irat an applause there. I was kind of, really pressuring him to do better, and I think he succeeded, so that was fantastic, okay? And never take it personally. I just want all of you to be the best you possible, okay? All right, let's try Delvin. See if we can catch Delvin for a quick interaction. So Delvin says, hey, sir, I want to volunteer. Okay, are you ready, Delvin? All right. Thank you for the thumbs up and the claps. Yeah, Irat, I pressured him to, speak again, speak better, but that was great, Irat. It was good. Okay, thank you, John. All right. Okay, yeah, Delvin is ready. Cool. Okay, here we go, Delvin. Hello, Delvin. I hear that you picked up, but I'm not sure if you have your microphone enabled on the website. Can you hear me? Usually students, when there's this kind of like silence, when you pick up the call, it's one of two possible problems. One is your internet connection might not be stable enough, and the other one is that you haven't actually enabled the website to use your microphone through your browser. Okay, so Delvin, I think that's what's happening. So check your settings. Okay, practice with some other students. Okay, Delvin's calling me, but I'm still not sure. You can, if your microphone's not enabled, it's not going to work. Okay. All right. Let me see. Here's Anna. Let's see if I can reach out to Anna. Okay, I want people to know that even if they're lower on the list, they still might have a chance. Okay, so hi Anna, are you ready? Okay, so let's see if Anna is still here with us. Anna says yes. Okay.
Hello.
Hi Anna.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm great.
That's a
How are you?
fantastic answer. I'm doing good too. Thank you for asking. All right, Anna. I'm glad that we're able to connect. Yeah, when you're a little bit lower on the list, it's sometimes daunting. It's like, is he ever going to get to me if I'm so low on that list? But yeah, I will. I kind of move around. So I'm glad that you hung in there and waited for your turn. It's fantastic. So I'm going to ask you a question, Anna, and then give me a nice full sentence answer, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, so we're still talking about habits. Here we go. Have people's habits changed in the last 10 years in your country?
Undoubtedly, people's habits have extremely changed through the years. We can clearly see it leaning on the pandemic situation in our modern world. For instance, people started shopping and working online, even when there's no lockdown in one or another city. Also, the usage of credit cards became extremely prominent as it can be disinfected. So people started to use pocket paper money less.
Okay, that was very good. All right, so I would be comfortable giving you an 8, 8.5 for that. I think some examiners would give you an 8, some examiners would give you an 8.5, but some examiners might give you a 7. Do you know why?
Why?
Because it feels like it's a pre-planned answer. So it doesn't actually feel like it's you. It feels like you saw the question, you wrote down a possible answer, and then you're like, okay, I got this one. And even if it's not, it sounds like it because it sounds kind of generalized. It's not specific enough to the question itself. Let me show you why, okay? Mm-hmm. By the way, a couple of things that you did really well is you showed that it's present perfect and you answered in present perfect, right? So the question was, have people's habits changed? And you said undoubtedly people's habits have changed. So it's very good for you to reflect that right away. Okay, there's a specific point in this question that you didn't really address. What was that? So what was the point in this question that you didn't really target in your answer?
Why?
Not the why, the in your country. Okay. So I didn't actually ask you where you're from when we started our conversation. So I still have no idea what country we're talking about when we're talking about these changes. So may I ask where you're from?
I'm from Ukraine.
Ukraine. Okay. So you want to target the questions because that lets the examiner know that, okay, the student didn't just memorize something to say if they get a question like this, but they actually specifically are responding to the question. It's very important for the examiner to feel that for those higher band scores. Sometimes, and this happens, believe it or not, some students will memorize hundreds of possible answers and then just kind of say one or two that seem close enough to the question, right? So undoubtedly people's habits have changed in the Ukraine. Okay. And now you can say for instance, and now it's sounding a lot more like, okay, you're specifically dealing with my question and not just a question. Okay, so for instance, people started working and shopping online, and the usage of credit cards have become more prevalent. Okay, it means more common, and then give an example. So instead of keeping with this kind of general answer explanation, give a more specific example, and then it's very clear for the examiner that, okay, you're dealing with their question, not just a question. These past 2 years, I have done 80% of my shopping from home, as where prior I always went out to my local mall. Okay, and then you are going to guarantee yourself that 8.59, and you're not going to get an examiner that says, oh, she's just saying some memorized answers and I'm going to give her a band 7. Okay, so that happens. Okay, so let me read this and the response, and then copy after me. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So notice how to be much more specific now. Okay, so here we go. Have people's habits changed in the last 10 years in your country? Undoubtedly, people's habits have changed in the Ukraine this past decade. For instance, people started working and shopping online, and the usage of credit cards have become more prevalent because of the current pandemic. These past 2 years, I've done 80% of my shopping from home, as where prior I always used to go out to my local mall. Have people's habits changed in the last 10 years in your country?
Well, undoubtedly, people's habits have extremely changed through the years in the Ukraine. For instance, people started shopping and working online, even when there is no lockdown in one or another city. Also, the usage of credit cards have become more prevalent. These past 2 years, I've done 80% of my shopping from home. And also, I started using my credit cards more frequently.
Much better. Now I'll give you that 8.5 for sure. You're more specific, you're targeting the question more accurately, and I'm confident that this is your true English and not just kind of memorized and maybe glued together responses in the hopes of getting that high score. Okay?
Yeah, thank you for your help.
You're very welcome. Keep practicing that, because I think your English is brilliant, and you're adapting very quickly, which is a good sign of good learning. Okay?
Thank you.
All right, have an awesome rest of your day in the Ukraine, and keep coming back in the future for more practice. Bye, Anna.
Yes, bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, so that was Anna, and I heard the thank you, Anna, at the end there, sort of cut you off like that. That was fantastic. Okay, everyone, I'm going to stop there, but if I didn't get to you today, worry not. Practice with each other, okay? There's lots of other people here. If you liked what you heard, you want to do a full IELTS speaking practice exam with me, you can do that in your My Student account by clicking this yellow speaking interview practice button, and that's a 30-minute session. It includes a full 12 to 15-minute speaking interview, and then feedback and some practice is what you just heard. Students, that's it for today and for this week of live classes, but worry not, I'm going to be back next week, and we're going to have another full week of learning and improving English and communication. So, and we will be starting it off with speaking part 1 on Wednesday, and then we'll have lots more speaking. We'll have speaking part 2 and part 3 on Thursday of next week. So come back, hang out with me. Thank you to all of our volunteers for being brave and building that Band 9 confidence. Thank you, Carolina, for moderating the chat. Thank you, members, for your support. I hope everybody has a lovely rest of your weekend. For those of you who really want to get the best help possible, I highly recommend using this discount pass IELTS for 20% off on our websites, ahelp.com and gieltshelp.com. It's well worth it. Have an awesome rest of your day wherever you are in this beautiful world. I'm Adrian. Much love to all of you. Bye for now.